When did you miss your wallet? When did you and how did you conceal your real-life pregnancies on the air? When did you and John begin to write songs together? When did you apply nail polish? When did you arrive here? When did you arrive in this country? When did you arrive? When did you attach it on me? When did you become a Christian? When did you become a connoisseur? When did you become a DJ? When did you become a doctor? When did you become a negotiator? When did you become a thief? When did you become a vampire? When did you become an expert on what's cool? When did you become blood brothers? When did you become friendly with the feds? When did you become so coherent? When did you become so insecure? When did you become such a brat? When did you become such a clock watcher? When did you become such a cynic? When did you become such a dull normal? When did you become such a fascist? When did you become such a hypocrite? When did you become such a little snot? When did you become such a prig? When did you become such a stick in the mud? When did you become such a wuss? When did you begin French? When did you begin seeing the orthopedist for your hand? When did you begin studying English? When did you begin this job? When did you begin to attend a church? When did you begin to feel sick? When did you begin to learn English? When did you begin to smoke? When did you break your leg? When did you buy this car? When did you buy all this? When did you buy it? When did you buy that shirt you're wearing? When did you buy the television? When did you buy this car? When did you buy this computer? When did you buy this one? When did you call him? When did you change jobs? When did you change your mind? When did you come back from the States? When did you come back to Japan? When did you come here first? When did you come here? When did you come on the scene? When did you come to Los Angeles? When did you come to that conclusion? When did you come to the office yesterday? When did you come to the States? When did you come up to Tokyo? When did you convert to Christianity? When did you decide to become a singer? When did you decide to get a mutt? When did you decide to quit smoking? When did you decide to quit your job? When did you decide to sell? When did you decide to star? When did you develop a stutter? Out with it. When did you discover that they were not inspecting all the aerials? When did you do first date? When did you do study English? When did you do that and by what process? When did you eat last? When did you ever believe me? When did you ever deserve it? When did you ever learn to be so handy? When did you fall in love for the first time? When did you feel it first? When did you figure it out? When did you finalize your contract? When did you find out about it? When did you find out about the relationship between Ray and Mercy? When did you find out? When did you first begin experiencing pelvic pain? When did you first begin experiencing shoulder pain? When did you first begin experiencing your symptoms? When did you first begin having heart palpitations? When did you first come? When did you first decide to kill your aunt? When did you first encounter Buddhism? When did you first enter the mental hospital? When did you first feel like you were an actress? When did you first felt? When did you first get interested in the history of Kaguryo? When did you first have an alcoholic drink? When did you first hear about me? When did you first hear his voice? When did you first hear music? When did you first hear the sounds? When did you first know I liked you? When did you first know? When did you first meet Dick? When did you first meet her? When did you first meet him? When did you first meet Mr. Amidon? When did you first meet? When did you first miss the necklace? When did you first miss your purse? When did you first miss your wallet? When did you first notice it missing? When did you first notice it was gone? When did you first notice it? When did you first notice the lump? When did you first notice the problem? When did you first notice the rash? When did you first notice the warts? When did you first notice they were gone? When did you first notice this change? When did you first notice this lump? When did you first notice this skin growth or lesion? When did you first notice this skin growth? When did you first notice vaginal bleeding? When did you first notice your vision problem? When did you first notify them of your concerns? When did you first realize this? When did you first see him? When did you first see me? When did you first see them? When did you first start using the internet? When did you first start writing? When did you first start? When did you first steal something? When did you first study English? When did you first suspect it was her? When did you get a chance to do this, kid? When did you get a chance to do this? When did you get a driver's license? When did you get a notification? When did you get a phone call from him? When did you get all the scratches on your face? When did you get back and why didn't you call me? When did you get back from abroad? When did you get back from Los Angeles? When did you get back from Turkey? When did you get back to town? When did you get back? When did you get discharged? When did you get discharged? When did you get divorced? When did you get engaged? When did you get here and fall asleep? When did you get in? When did you get interested in basketball? When did you get interested in car? When did you get interested in math? When did you get it? When did you get married? When did you get off the train? When did you get off work? When did you get released from the army? When did you get so good? When did you get so soft? When did you get the clapper? When did you get the phone? When did you get there? When did you get this false tooth put in? When did you get this letter? When did you get this? Did you get it for me? When did you get your driver's license? When did you get your first kiss? When did you get your new car? When did you get yourself a full-time job? When did you go on your first date? When did you go there? When did you go to the hospital? When did you go to the United States last time? When did you graduate from college? When did you graduate from university? When did you graduate high school? When did you guys change locations? When did you guys first meet? When did you guys learn sign language? When did you guys start learning English? When did you have a medical checkup last? When did you have a son? When did you have children? When did you have lunch? When did you have that pain? When did you have the surgery? When did you have the time to make a doll? When did you have the time? When did you have them last? When did you have your first drink? When did you have your first kiss? When did you have your hair cut? When did you have your hair dyed brown? When did you have your handbag last? When did you have your last physical? When did you have your son? When did you have your tooth taken out? When did you hear about it? When did you hear about the wedding? When did you hear about this? When did you hurt your leg? When did you join your company? When did you join the army? When did you join the company? When did you join the cops? When did you join the factory? When did you join the party? When did you join your company? When did you know it was all over? When did you know Lily was the one? When did you know she was the one? When did you know you had an unusual voice? When did you last get a physical? When did you last get a raise? When did you last go abroad? When did you last go on vacation? When did you last go outside? When did you last go to a dentist? When did you last go to the gym? When did you last have a period? When did you last have a tune-up? When did you last have an eye exam? When did you last have it? When did you last have them? When did you last hear from Susan? When did you last meet him? When did you last see Daniel? When did you last see him? When did you last see Sean? When did you last sleep for 8 hours? It's been a while. When did you last write a letter to him? When did you learn how to ride a bike? When did you learn how to swim? When did you learn of his death? When did you learn that? When did you learn to dance so beautifully? When did you learn to dance? When did you learn to speak English? When did you leave the message? When did you leave the orphanage? When did you leave your jacket? When did you lose all that weight? When did you lose your husband? When did you mail your resume? When did you make a reservation? When did you make up your mind to marry her? When did you make your reservation? When did you meet Kathy? When did you meet Ianju? When did you meet her first? When did you meet him first? When did you meet him? When did you meet? When did you miss your watch? When did you move in here? When did you move to Atlanta then? When did you move to Boston? When did you move to Florida? When did you move to Seattle? When did you move to Seoul? When did you move to Tokyo? When did you move? When did you murder the first time? When did you need anything, demand? When did you notice a change? When did you notice this? When did you notice your wife having an affair with another guy? When did you order it? When did you park your car? When did you pick up on that? When did you plan on telling me this? When did you quit Kim Electronics? When did you realize that you had this natural talent for music? When did you realize that you'd lost your wallet? When did you realize you loved him? When did you realize you were this popular? When did you retire? When did you say the train leaves? When did you say when? When did you say you were leaving for New York? When did you see Grandma last? When did you see her last time? When did you see her last time? When did you see her last? When did you see him for the last time? When did you see him last? When did you see him lately? When did you see him? When did you see him? I saw him yesterday. When did you see the movie? When did you see them first? When did you sell your soul? When did you send the package? When did you send your payment? When did you serve in the military? When did you smoke your first cigarette? When did you sneak in? When did you sneak into this country? When did you speak to her last? When did you speak to her? When did you speak to your wife last? When did you start collecting? When did you start doing business with a loan shark like him? When did you start doing dope? When did you start doing stand-up? When did you start having this problem? When did you start learning Chinese? When did you start learning English? When did you start playing baseball? When did you start playing tennis? When did you start seeing him? When did you start studying music? When did you start studying? When did you start surfing the net? When did you start that again? When did you start the baseball? When did you start to go to church? When did you start to study English? When did you start wearing underwear? When did you start working at the Franklin Corporation? When did you start working for Kim Electronics? When did you start working for the company? When did you start working here? When did you start working? When did you steal out of the party last night? When did you stop being on my side? When did you submit documents for manager's approval? When did you switch job? When did you take two? When did you take it in for repairs? When did you take the position? When did you take this picture? When did you take up gambling for a living? When did you take up painting? When did you take your driving test? When did you take your temperature? When did you talk to him? When did you tell your husband? When did you think about being an actress? When did you think of this? When did you twist your ankle? When did you two get here? When did you two make up? When did you two meet? When did you use it last? When did you wake up this morning? When did you wake up today? When did you wash your face? When did you water the plants? When did you weigh last? When did you work? When did you? Hold on. I almost forgot.